All right, are we on? Yep. Okay, so this is pretty cool. We've got a pretty cool thing that I'm doing to learn, get better at doing full stack dev stuff, especially backend. We're just focusing on the backend right now. So at this point, I know how to use um, SQL Alchemy, SQL Alchemy. Know how to do it with the core as well as the ORM APIs, and I've landed on basically using basically underusing the session stuff. So I am going to use um, the models basically. Inside DB here, I've got these models. Like this is just a basic entity. I'm gonna use these map columns. This is great because when we have handlers in Fast API, we can get out the actual Python types from the table more easily. The typing here is just really useful. I've got a function on app startup to create my tables, drops them all first, then creates them. But what's great about this is that what I'm gonna avoid probably out of a style thing is trying to worry too much about creating relationships for foreign keys and doing um, like session.add to add an object. I'm just going to do inserts, which still works. So I can keep things clear and keep things like remove some of the magic that ends up being annoying later on, just to do SQL stuff. But yeah, so I figured out how to do. We create the DB and tables when the app loads using this lifespan thing. Additionally, I've got some really interesting stuff going on here. Let's see, do I have this open? So I've got a Postgres database running from a container, and it's showing that entity in here with no rows because it gets created when the app starts. I can do like DT to show that, listing the different databases I have. I think it's D or something for, I forget each of these commands. But anyway, so we have this open down here. I also have, um, is it this one? It's not this one. I have Claude Code, which I'm using to generate a front-end application to give me challenges where all of the front-end stuff with all of the client connections to the Fast API are completed for me, just in one prompt, which is what you can do. Um, and then we're going to implement implement the backend routes that Claude asked me to create. And it took a little bit of prompting to get this correct, but it always wants to, like, it wanted me to develop a whole product, right? And I just want something simple. But so we're going to have to create a posts table. That's what we have here. We have posts and we get them by ID. We have to create new ones, put to update, delete, right? And this is the format that's expected. So that's what we're going to be working on. It's pretty cool. This is on like this is a product. Like I'm not saying that we're building a product. I'm not saying this blog post thing is a product. I'm saying that like this way of learning, like I mean, it stands to be determined what is the future of being a software engineer and learning, and why should anybody care about that? But if you could time travel and offer this as a product, it would be like this would be the way to learn. It's insane. So this is what we have. This is how we're going to do it. So I get to focus just on thinking about how to implement the API handlers for this. I have Claude here who can probably speed some things up if I ever need it. But this is just what we're going to do. I think it's really cool. So let's just look at the application, see what we need to implement. We have some blog posts. There's no authentication. Um, when you arrive to the application, you get this dev blog thing. Welcome to devlog. So this one presumably goes to our posts. This goes to posts new, and then you could view a post, I suppose, which we can't see yet, but you'll be able to, I guess, when you eventually there will be like an ID. It's probably compiling on the Next.js side right now since we have a dev going, or it just doesn't exist. Let's see. So loading post, we're gonna get an error, which Claude wrote in, which is nice, as a try catch. Um, okay, so we just need to implement this stuff. This is actually mostly a building out handlers task. Hopefully you guys could see that. Uh, I do have to swap between, actually let's do it like this. Let's do, let's do it like this. Okay, so now what we can do is you can switch between and see this is the app we're building, Claude Code over here. Um, yeah, so this is everything that we need to see, everything that's going to be necessary. So I think we start by just seeding in some posts, some blog posts, so that everything is there that we need. So I'm going to comment this one out for now. I like it as just a reminder of how everything works. And I'll get the JavaScript open. Like, this is really cool. This is absurd. Okay, so we're basically creating this. Um, Now it's clear to me, I do, this is where I'm thinking, wow, I should just use a SQL model, which is a thing from Fast API. They would let me have my, the creation object be the same as the database object, but I see that as being limiting. Sometimes you want the front end to send something that's not quite the same thing. But anyway, so we'll have a post class that will take in from the base, this table name. I kind of know how to do this task. Like, I'm not really getting that much, I think, from this, but it's still useful. All right, what do we need on this? We need an ID. We need a title. Come on. We need an ID, title, content, and created at. And we're typing because it's just good for you to type sometimes. This is a mapped thing. What we need it to be is it's going to end up being a UUID.UUID, which is really nice. And the new version of SQL Alchemy added this type that's universal for UUID, so it'll work if we ever want to change to SQLite or want to change to Postgres. We're using Postgres right now. It'll be easy, and your code can handle that migration, which is nice. It's really cool. It's amazing all the stuff you have to know to just start with this, but yeah, this would be impossible without Claude to put all the stuff out here. Just makes it more fun, makes it more interesting. I'm literally doing some work right now. Like it's like I have a front end team who gave me who perfectly teed stuff up for me. Um, all right, so there's going to be a mapped column, and it is our primary key. I need to give it a, don't I need to give this a type? I think I do. If I'm not gonna, yeah, we did that last time, right? I didn't actually. It's interesting. I think I do need to give it a type, otherwise it will default to integer. So I'm gonna give it a UUID type. I don't think I have to call it with anything. The ordering of these arguments is a little bit strange with ordering it. There is like a ton of flexibility. Okay. We'll give it 64. This is just text, right? I think text is a thing. Is that the right way to do it? Is text the... Let's ask this. I want to make sure I'm getting this correct. Oh, you weren't seeing what I was doing over there. That's annoying. Okay, that's what I was thinking. We're over here now, actually. I'm sorry, I should have switched it over. Anyway, yeah, so we're creating a table name post created at is going to be I think this is just how this works. Should be able to do it. We'll see. Okay. That should go away in a second. And we need a default for this that will get set when we use operations through any of the, like a true update command rather than doing a connection.execute. I realized that earlier. The default for this will be just like this. I think this is what we figured out last night, that if you just do like this, what is the reason that that works? Trying to, yeah, it will work. I just needed to use it from, you can't, it will not if you use connection.execute. You have to use a true insert statement, which handles all of that, or something with the ORM. All right. So this should be created. This table will be created now when we start the app. Let me just double check this by switching views, and we look into our thing. First, I mean, the table should, oh, there's nothing in it. There is not going to be anything in there, but we can at least check. And it didn't delete the entity, which is interesting. I would not expect that. Oh, that's interesting. I have to ask. I have to ask. Well, can we figure this problem out ourselves? Like, I mean, I understand what's going on. Basically, entity is not on base anymore, and so it won't get dropped. But we can do that from here for now. It would be nice if we could delete anything that shows up here. There's just no reference of it, so there, of course it's not going to get dropped. Is there any way to like, do you guys see what I'm doing? Like, I feel like that makes sense. Like, it feels like I should just be able to do this. Is there a, I'm gonna ask actually. Right, right, it doesn't show up in there. I'm okay with this. I want something better. Oh, that's terrible. No, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, look, it's just this. So this should hopefully do it. All right, we're going back over to the left. It's good stuff. This is good. Um, text from up here. That's it, I think. It'll telling you I need to just wipe this whole computer and only run VMs on it. Um, so that means I don't really need this line, I think. But I'll keep it just in, well, it would be interesting for, to actually test. Okay, so that should have worked. That should work. So let's see. Let's see if that worked. That's what we wanted to see. Okay, so this works. All right, let's implement this stuff. We're getting there. We're learning how to do this. Yeah, back to this, back to the left. Okay, this works. So I've got my thing. I think that in Fast API, there's a convention for creating a schemas directory. I think that's true. But I could be wrong. I don't think it's that important right now. I'm going to put it in the routers at this point, I think. Not the worst thing ever to do that right now. Okay, so let's just make sure we can figure out what is my mouse doing. Okay. So now we have this hello route. We need another one. This one is for posts. It's interesting. I think that REST API emphasizes plural names, but then in the DB, you often do singular names. Because every time I save the file, it's going to do this update stuff, which is, okay, it works. Okay, from fast API router. Okay, this is just the way we do it. Yeah, I see the future of coding. For me, if you get a more optimized way of doing things, everything starts being reproducible. This should be just like little commands in Claude. You just like write out a schema and just get the whole app basically. Most apps like this can be created from a database design. Um, prefix is going to be API post. I think that's what it was, right? No, no, just posts, which is okay in this case. So what happens when you just get the base idea here? I guess we'll give these CRUD names. That makes sense. I'm okay with that. Yep. We don't need anything there. So now we need to do some dependency injection stuff. All right. I think I know how to do this actually. I don't think I need to look anything up. I guess the question is, before I do that, can we do anything clever with the API response. What is the response expected here? Post is supposed to be a list of posts. Return, and so it's expecting this list thing. So I should be able to return it like that, I think. And here I would want to, oh, this is interesting. So I'm not going to want to, I can do this kind of import, I think. We're just trying stuff, okay? Because this doesn't expect anything input, no inputs here. So what are we going to want for this? What are the args for it? It's a, no ID is necessary here, right? We just need the title, I think. It's got to be title. Should be. Um, a little confused by what we're seeing here. We're definitely doing something wrong. I'm not sure what's going on here. We'll figure it out eventually, I guess. Do we have the right interpreter going and everything? I think we do. Yeah. Um, I've never really done this, so I'm just thinking maybe. Let's see if I can ask Claude really quick. Oh, I need the init file exactly inside of here too. Okay. I mean, that would be great if that's. Would like that to fix it. That would be great. That didn't fix it. Let's reload the window. Strangely fixes things sometimes. I need to improve my compute for sure. Does anybody? Nobody's watching, but like I wish there was. Like, what's going on here? Like, if I just down here do something like, maybe this is not how it works. Is this like not how it works? Maybe it's not typed the way that I think. I guess it won't. Is that what it is? Okay. I mean, I think this is gonna work. If I'm being really honest, I think this is actually how it's supposed to be now. Okay, so it lied to me. Yeah, okay, all right. This is just gonna work. Because if I create a random class here, just do a class and call it test and pass, or I'll give it some kind of a attribute. Um, equals test, and then I do test equals test. What will I see on test? It won't say that args thing, but if I'm on post, it does. So there's a different thing going on there. It's doing something. We're not getting nothing. We're not getting nothing. Okay, we're just not. All right, created those tables again. That's a lot of work actually every time we save, but it's okay. Content will be dummy content. And the created at should just happen. I shouldn't have to pass anything to that, right? I sure hope, right? Because, well, I don't know if that's true because I think it will. I think in this case it will. So what if we just returned this absolutely should work. No, it's not a pydantic object. So I'm not sure. This is what we're going to do. We're going to return nothing. We're going to return an empty array, or list as it's called. And then I'm going to print out type of the dummy post. Okay, so let's see what happens when I'm going to make the request from the application. Did we get the request? I didn't add the routes. That's what it is. Executes the table statements. Should at least. Maybe it doesn't because that didn't save. What happened here? No module name found backend. But there is though. I think it should work, but it doesn't seem to work. I think this will work. What's going on? I feel like I recall this not being a problem. Do I just not need this at all? Just everything goes from the top down. I think that's what it is. That did it. All right, now we do a request. Nothing sent. Get posts. I do not understand. Let's try it again. We get 2 requests on each one of these. And it says it's from. That's strange to me. Why those ports? I don't understand what's going on. Okay. Isn't that the Postgres stuff? Like, I think if I do this, maybe I won't see it. I don't know. Okay, it started up. I may, from now on, I think things will move faster if I remove the really heavy duty drop thing. I guess it's okay. But now I have to do this one. Anyway, now if I do the request again, like if I just take away everything here, and I didn't do it within a session or anything, and I'm printing the type, but we didn't do any of that. It's very interesting. Let's try one more time. Okay, making the request. That seems wrong. All right, I'll be right back.